all Christians are equal, but some are more equal than others. Jehovah's Witnesses teach a two-tier setup for Christians. The first class Christians are the anointed, the royal priesthood, the holy nation, a people for special possession. Since the year 33 CE until today, only 144,000 have been chosen by Jehovah to be in this exclusive group. The second class Christians are known as the riffraff. No, they're known as the other sheep. The other sheep. The foreigners. Those who take hold of the skirt of the anointed and say, "Please, can we tag along with you because we heard God was with you?" A problem with this setup is many teachings in the Bible don't quite fit, and so have to be shoehorned in, and many of them make very little sense at all. Now here's a question for those who are familiar with Bible teachings, according to Jehovah's Witnesses. Ready? Which group inherits the earth, and who inherits the kingdom? So the anointed, they go to heaven, where they live as immortal kings, and the other sheep, they get to stay on earth, and they live in a paradise forever. So which group inherits the earth, and which group inherits the kingdom? If you've ever been a Jehovah's Witness, you would likely answer that the great crowd of other sheep inherit the earth, and the Israel of God, the anointed little flock, inherit the heavenly kingdom. Right? Wrong. Would it surprise you to learn that Jehovah's Witnesses have taught the exact opposite of that? Despite the huge sales pitch telling you about Paradise Earth and living forever after Armageddon, your inheritance as the other sheep is not the earth. But I hear you cry, what of Psalm 37 verse 11? The meek ones themselves will possess the earth. Or verse 29, the righteous themselves will possess the earth. Jesus quoted this in his Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5. Happy are the mild-tempered, since they will inherit the earth. Or blessed are the meek, as it reads in the King James. But no, he was not talking about you. The meek, the mild-tempered, are Toni Morrison friends. If you have the Watchtower library, or if you go to Watchtower's online library, and you type in the word earth into the index, notice the third heading. That's right, the anointed inherit the earth. Just read you a couple of quotes from the Watchtower. 2009. Why are the mild-tempered ones happy? Because they will inherit the earth, said mild-tempered Jesus. He is the principal inheritor of the earth. However, mild-tempered joint heirs with Christ share in his inheritance of the earth. Yes, you, if you qualify, can live in the paradise earth, owned by Tony and friends, hopefully rent-free. We don't know what he has planned as the inheritor of earth. We shouldn't speculate about the future, we're told. But in case you thought this was just a random Watchtower writer going rogue, there's more examples. Let's find another Watchtower. Let's go back to 2008. There we are, paragraph 4 in the study article. Mild-tempered ones are happy because they will inherit the earth. But then it says that it was foretold that the Messianic Son of Man would have associate rulers in the heavenly kingdom. As joint heirs with Christ, 144,000 mild-tempered anointed ones were to share in Jesus' inheritance of the earth. And then, of course, they like to tag this line on the end to keep 8 million people happy and to tell them that you need to be meek too. They say, other mild-tempered ones will be blessed with everlasting life in the earthly realm of the kingdom. So they, Toni Morrison friends, they inherit the earth, even though they think they're going to go to heaven. So who inherits the kingdom of heaven? Well, I'm sure you're way ahead of me, but let's just have a look anyway. We have Matthew 25. And of course, in the parable of the sheep and the goats, Jehovah's Witnesses teach that you, the other sheep, the great crowd, you will be the sheep in this sheep and goats scenario. And so we're told there that the Son of Man, when he comes in his glory, all the nations will be gathered before him, and he'll separate people one from another, sheep and the goats. He'll put the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who have been blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the founding of the world." So the anointed who go to heaven inherit the earth, and the great crowd of other sheep who live on the earth inherit the kingdom of heaven. Easy peasy. The truth is simple, isn't it? Now, if we were all just brothers, it might work well. If the JW doctrine followed what Ephesians 4 says, where it describes one body there is and one spirit, even as you were called in the one hope, one Lord, one faith, one God and Father of all, well, it could work. But because they have this concept of a small group of chosen ones, and then in the 1920s and 30s, lots of other people started to join, well, they had to invent this second-tier Christian group, and ever since have had the unenviable task of shoehorning in a variety of doctrine and dogma. That's all for Dubtown Dogma this week. Dubtown's next episode will deal with the subject of shunning.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you like this one, go watch this one or try a binge watch here.